Greetings, everyone. This is Rock from Spot Country with Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered this week's X-Men books, as well as the issue of Magic the Gathering and Crush and Lobo, which brings us to this week's Avengers books and this week's Bat books. Kicking things off with Savage Avengers number 25. So where we left off, Cool and Goth won. Oh boy, did he win. He apparently killed Doom and Strange, though Doom had given his armor to Conan to avoid so he could avoid the gaze of Cool and Goth. And Strange gave Conan a mission. Carved the date on an ancient sarcophagus, which Conan did, and as he finished carving it, who should appear but rather Kang the Conqueror. As the sarcophagus was none other than Rama-Tut's. So, Kang and Conan have a battle, but Cool and Goth's forces show up. And, well, Conan does manage to keep Kang interested, but apparently Strange informed Conan of who was coming, or who he was basically summoning, and left and gave Conan a message to give to him. That Kang is dead, is already dead. He just doesn't know it yet, and that perhaps he's not the Time Master he thinks he is. So Kang takes Conan to his stronghold beyond time, where he has mementos of everyone, hero and villain alike, that he's killed, corpses of some, the empty outfits of others, and just memorabilia of some. Got Juggernaut's helmet, the current helmets for both Xavier and Magneto, Taskmaster's shield, Whirlwind's helmet, Cap's World War II shield and his modern shield, both looking very banged up. Mjolnir, what appears to be the stretched out body of Mr. Fantastic, the Black Knight's outfit, so on and so forth. But since Conan and Kang bond a bit, and apparently Conan is honest with Kang, so Kang is honest with him. So he mobilized what remained of humanity into the Kang Corps. Some were willing, others less so. It's easy to raise an army when you possess every mind-controlled method ever invented. Kang was about to ambush the last of Goth's zealots as they laid waste to wretches in the scorched lands. He began his campaign simultaneously in several different years, and he should have won before Goth knew he was coming. But somehow, Goth found him. And apparently they've had this discussion previously. But they take various weapons, or Conan gets various weapons. The Ebony Blade, he's already wielding the Ebony Blade, but we also see him pick up one of Cable's ginormous guns, Cap's Secret Empire era shield, though finding a point when trying to travel back to stop Goth before his rise to power is not easy. It's stated that as he currently is, Goth is so powerful that he shadows his younger self at all times, in all times. And apparently, Strange has told Kang to tell Conan something. A note from with the Eye of Power. The note saying, "Eye of Power, ask Conan if Crom could hate him any more than he clearly does." And so, Conan puts on the Eye of Power, and they head into the time stream aboard Rosebud 2, a time sled made by Reed Richards. But Conan has a sense of deja vu. But the plan is that Conan and Kang will divide Kulan Goth's attention. Conan will face him alone while Kang gathers others, including himself. Before they leave, though, Conan requires one final thing. And when Conan arrives at Goth's Citadel, it's revealed that final thing is the bottle of Krakoan whiskey that Kang has in his collection. But Conan uses Cable's giant gun to kill the Priest of Sickles. Cap's shield to finish the job. The ebony blade takes off one of Kulan Goth's arms, and the symbiote frees itself, but Goth's arm grows legs and attacks Conan. Goth rips the symbiote off him and eats it, and then kills Conan, ripping out his heart. And that is where the issue ends. Well, that was something. It'll be interesting to see where they continue this. Yay, time travel, right? But that brings us to our next book, Captain Marvel number 33. And much like with Hellions number 16, we also have a variant of that based on using artwork from the old Marvel Masterpieces set. This time featuring Deathbird. Now, you might be curious. What the hell is Deathbird doing as a Captain Marvel variant cover? Well, Deathbird, though mostly thought of as an X-Men villain, was introduced in Captain Marvel's first series back, which went by the name Miss Marvel. So, makes sense. Interesting side note. Mystique was also introduced in the same series. But where we left off in Captain Marvel, a Dark Marvel had attacked Carol. She defeated it, and she barely defeated it, and was able to pull the suit off of it, only off the Dark Marvel, only to reveal it to be none other than Phyla-Vell, the daughter of Mar-Vell, and briefly a Captain Marvel. Upon realizing that, potentially speaking, Vox Supreme, who it turns out is no longer being held at the raft, was going after anyone with the Marvel name, Carol tried to contact Monica Rambeau, but got no response, and also went to New Jersey to make sure that Kamala Khan was safe, only to discover some Dark Marvels attacking Kamala. But Carol rescues Kamala, and the Dark Marvels pursue. She calls for backup, but she's attacked and crashes and crash lands. Tries to wake up. She manages to wake up Kamala. Basically say, "Hey, this is what's going on. We need to fight these guys off." But they're strong, whoever they are. Turns out that one of them is, in fact, Monica. And Monica passes on coordinates to her, but Box Supreme reasserts his will. But she gets reinforcements. War Machine, Spider-Woman, and Hazmat. But Hazmat gets infected with one of the Dark Marvels, and so does Jess and Rhodey. But so Carol makes the decision to pull Kamala out and take her to Tony to have him save her. Calls for Sister L'Oreal and basically passes the mission on to her. But Carol goes to return to help her friends, only to see them teleported away, so she flies off the coordinates. Coordinates, turns out, are the planet where Mar-Vell fell, going up against the Phoenix Force, presumably during Avengers X-Men. This was in Secret Avengers 26, 27, and 28. But that's where Box Supreme is. And yeah, he's got his own Dark Marvels, and he has decided that. Oh, they had decided. I have to recall it. Box Supreme is two characters technically. Carol doesn't have a place on his perfect planet, and so he seals her in a pod of sorts and injects her into space. And that is where the issue ends. This is definitely going to be an interesting story. And among the those in Box Supreme's army of Marvels, and well, now more than just Marvels, is Genus Vell, Mar-Vell's son. So yeah, Last Marvel should definitely be a fun read to work through. Moving on to our next book, we've got Arkham City, The Order of the World. So, Arkham City follows, is largely told through the eyes of Dr. Jocasta Joy. She is the only doctor who is assigned to Arkham Asylum that was not present on A-Day. Her first day off in over a week. But she's trying to gather up the prisoners that survived. Starting with Ratcatcher, who was working his way towards eating a child. Yeah. But he's subdued, in part by the police. But yeah, the press is there, and she would rather they not be there, but they go back to her office to grab some of her paperwork, mainly lists of some of the other patients she had, including seemingly Professor Pig, who we found out it goes into his modus operandi, his MO, which is usually finding people and cutting their faces off to replace with dolls' faces. Mad Hatter, who's being chased through the sewers by apparently a phantom. Double X. Double X one is interesting. Double X's next hurt because he has been chained to the same spot for 3 weeks. He would very much like to see the sunshine. He wonders who is going to come into the room next. So many people have come in, and then they go into his head. And then they put their thoughts in his head and make him scream and scream. Then we've got Nocturne on Dr. Phosphorus, trying to be as normal as possible. They have an apartment and a TV and a dining table, just like normal people. Dr. Phosphorus is not a 7-foot radioactive skeleton, and she is not, and Nocturne is not a vampire because those would not be normal. They even check through the wall to the people next door to make sure they are living their lives just like other normal people do. But, not entirely sure the man with bandages is. Normally I would think that was Hush, but it doesn't fit Hush, so. And finally, there's the Ten-Eyed Man. The Ten-Eyed Man is, he requires certain things for a ritual. What he requires currently are teeth. But later that night, some of Mad Hatter's thralls are found, badly burned, basically implying that his mind control cards have a kill switch in them. And one of them isn't dead. Poor bastard. But yeah, the detective working with Dr. Joy basically says, yeah, sorry, no. The press is gonna, we're not hiding this one from the press, okay? People in the city have a right to know have the right to know about what goes bump in the night outside their window. But no trace of Tetch, who's still running through the sewers, but he comes upon someone. And asks if they can go home. When Dr. Joy returns home, however, she finds blood on her carpet. Goes further in, only to find the Ten-Eyed Man waiting. Apparently, the Ten-Eyed Man has been hiding out at her place. The man that he was torturing earlier, well, the Ten-Eyed Man ripped out his jaw. Well, his jawbone, teeth and all. To explain that somehow he did so without cutting the man's face. Just phased his hands in, and yeah. But the man that manages is Jericho Herring, who was badly burned in his second tour in Iraq. Not a patient of the asylum. But he did have some odd behavior. He would speak to himself quietly on the rare occasion that he left his house to keep at bay the PTSD attacks that were prone to overcome him. But this is stated as he's being beaten by locals who think that he is one of the Arkham escapees. Just because, well, he looks a little different. Face covered in bandages, but still. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. It is implied that this is happening during the events of Fear State, so you've got this, plus you've got all the, you've got Sears BS with, oh, Batman's dead, all this bad shit's happening in Gotham, you're all. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to our next book. Well, oh yes, and Order of the World is definitely interesting. I think it's supposed to be setting up the Arkham Tower arc, which will be running, I believe, in Detective Comics starting in December. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Batman number 114. Where we left off, Ghostmaker had basically got rid of all of the little little mental commands and baggage that Scarecrow had left behind in Batman's mind, and the two were going at, and had also informed Bruce that years ago, Crane he had met Jonathan Crane, and Crane had told him of the fear state theory. So the issue begins in Eden. Miracle Molly has gotten a receiver, and she's trying to find out what's going on in Gotham itself. But Queen Ivy, wants to know what happened, or seems that she's angry at everyone up there. But she explains that she's angry, not at the people. She's angry at the systems manipulating the people, the ones making them so afraid. She's angry at men like Saint, Nakano, the parrots in the media that don't realize that they're saying what their managers want them to say. Not the people who are just trying to survive out there, though. Just, But they talk, and she tells Ivy about about Master Wise's machine, and erases the trauma and baggage from your past to let it go without giving up your mind or your skills, so one can become their best self. And Molly actually thinks that uses Ivy as an example. She has the power to collapse the whole city with a thought. If Ivy were to let go of all of her baggage, Ivy could be one of the greatest heroes in the world. But Ivy counters by saying that her anger and baggage gave her the tools she needs to survive. Though Molly thinks that there are a lot of people, in the city that feel that way, and she also that's part of why it's so dangerous right now. She kind of wishes she could use the bomb she got everyone and free the entire city. But that gives her a realization of that she may figure out what Scarecrow was going to do. Elsewhere in the city, Peacekeeper X has found his target, Peacekeeper 01, who is still zonked out of his friggin' brain on fear toxin. And, well, yeah, they fight. With Scarecrow manipulating Peacekeeper 01 into thinking that X is in fact Batman. And, but Batman actually does get involved in the fight because, well, they're not exactly giving a shit about, collateral damage. The fact that it's, a city with people. But, yeah. Swarms of the Peacekeeper robots are unleashed on the city to go after Batman, but Peacekeeper 01 kills Peacekeeper X. And rather than recover the body, Simon Saint triggers the armor of self-destruct so that none of the tech can fall into Batman's hands, and destroying a rather large portion of a city block. After the explosion, Molly, however, has found Batman. And she explains that She knows how Scarecrow is getting into people's minds, and she thinks she knows what he's going to do next. But they're running out of time. Which brings us to our backup story, which again, it's the Clown Hunter one. Dose of fear toxin, following, hallucinating like a mug. But he gets a note saying, "Grab my hand," and they're continually, he's seeing things saying, "Grab," people, one of his hallucinations shouts, "Grab my hand." And finally, he hears the words clearly, "Grab my hand," followed by "Grab my hand now." And he's saved by none other than Tim Drake, Red Robin, swinging through at just the right moment. But Tim takes Clown Hunter to his base of operations and helps him, gets him over the fear toxin, and does a little work on the Bat. And Clown Hunter asks if Tim needs some help. They're going after the Scarecrow. And that is where the story ends. Good stuff. Good issue. I didn't mention this, but in the moment where, in the A story, where Saint orders the destruction of Peacekeeper X's armor, it was actually kind of nice to see that he actually did care about his assistant, who became Peacekeeper X. But yeah, not enough to actually make a point of recovering the body, so that so he can be given a proper burial and whatnot, or whatever he wanted done. So yeah, he's still scum, and well, he somewhat cared, but his corporate secrets mattered more. Brings us to our last book for the moment, Puzzlebox, number 3. So where we left off, the Joker was Riddler was dead. Joker, as well as most of the other Gotham rogues, were arrested by the GCPD, and a strange device was found with Riddler. So it's being heavily guarded now, as it appears to be a little bit above the pay grade of the GCPD. Black Mask has gotten his attorney and is seemingly on his way out. Various contradictory stories are being told, though, about concerning the mysterious device. So we've got 2 detectives questioning Two-Face, while Harvey Bullock and Commissioner Gordon question Joker. References are made to Two-Face's trip to Russia. It's implied that he killed a couple of civilians, stole a truck, and then made his way back to Moscow, and then got back to Gotham. Upon returning to Gotham, well, Joker was waiting for him in his home. Turns out Harvey is a Sinatra fan. But Joker suggests he go to a specific location. Two-Face goes and tries to ambush Deathstroke the Terminator, with an assist from Dr. Phosphorus. But then Batman shows up, stops Deathstroke, stops Two-Face, and steals the car. As Batman does. But it's also known that a book was found, and it seems to be, the detectives seem to think that it may be a ledger, but it's coded. They haven't been able to crack it yet, but they will. We get actually a really great moment where the two cops plus a SWAT team guy are discussing what Two-Face said, and with this guy saying, "Yeah, it seems like maybe Two-Face tried to kill Deathstroke." SWAT team guy's like, "Deathstroke, that's a little out of his weight class." But another thing says, "Well, Two-Face hired that skeleton guy to help him." SWAT team officer's like, "Atomic Skull?" Like, no, the other one. Lord Deathman? No, the other one. Director Bones? That doesn't matter. But yeah, they got his. But and while the SWAT team officer offers to take the ledger down to evidence, they want to preserve chain of custody. But that's when they learn that, oh yeah, they're kind of locked down because no, the evidence room is off limits at the moment because of the box. Turns out that our SWAT team officer is on Two-Face's payroll, and the book that the detectives have, it's his ledger of who he's being paid by, or who all he's paying off. Except that the our SWAT team officer, his name isn't in the ledger anymore. His new employee explains that his new employer made sure he was protected. But Joker then weaves another tale, black, with involving Catwoman working with Man-Bat and Killer Moth, and on the northern border of Zambezi. Well, Man-Bat and Killer Moth that's where they are. Catwoman is in Gotham, trying to rob Black Mask's office. But Man-Bat and Killer Moth fight, and then they have to work together. And then, yeah, Killer Moth betrays Man-Bat, but yeah. Harley and Ivy are watching everything. Killer Moth's trying to talk big, but yeah. Bane actually says, hey, you know what? He at least... But Scarecrow and Killer Moth argue, and, you know... And, yeah, Killer Moth's full of bravado, but it's kind of misplaced. Saying, you know, I took on the Man-Bat, I took him and I put him down. And, well, Scarecrow says, oh, that Man-Bat that's, you know, hanging from the ceiling sleeping? Killer Moth says, you know, well, bats heal faster or something. Because I killed him, basically. But, Scarecrow suggests that if he tried to kill Man-Bat, that maybe, you know, Killer Moth should make all the friends he can. And Bane volunteers to be Killer Moth's friend. Though Croc suggests that Bane sit down and stay in his fight. But, well, Bane, you know, don't tell me, you know, don't tell me what isn't my fight. And so, a fight breaks out in the holding cell. So the officer's like, should we just let this happen? Because, you know. But one of the cops goes in to break it up and is grabbed by Freeze. The only one not getting all the fight is Man-Bat until Freeze grabs the officer, and then Man-Bat saves him and allows him to get out. And, yeah. Everything is calmed back down. And that is where the issue ends. This is actually really great to reread all at once. I'm kind of kicking myself for having taped up the previous issues already. But yeah, I'm gonna have to reread all of them just to put all the pieces together. But that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.